Welcome to a new week, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are going to be getting into our next big chunk. And so that's going to be a whole week devoted to one short story by a man named Anthony Doerr called The Deep. We're going to continue thinking about risks and how we take risks, what causes us to take risks, and we're going to be exploring that through this short story. So we're going to be reading it over the course of 3 days, and then you'll have a couple of days to answer some deeper thinking questions on the back end. So yeah, hopefully it's not overwhelming, and I hope that you enjoy this story. It's really good. It is a little bit sad, but I hope that you end up enjoying it. So in this story specifically, why are we reading it? Well, we are going to be reading it because I want to specifically explore setting, tone, how those things are created, and then specifically how both of those things help define a theme of a text. And so, not just one theme, by the way, multiple themes. So more often than not, when we talk about themes as we look at texts, I only ask you to look at one, but that's silly, right? You guys often have separate, different ideas about what a theme is in a text, and they're correct. You're right. Like, you're often right, even if you disagree with each other, which is because there are many ways to look at a text and interpret its themes. This text is no different. And so this time in particular, I'm going to be asking you to think about the themes as they are built throughout the text, and how do they interact with each other? How do they help develop each other? And how do they help build each other? Specifically with this story, I want to focus on how the language is used to create a tone as well, like I said before. One of the very interesting choices made by this author is that it's written all in present tense. And I want you to think about what effect that has on you. How does that feel differently from a story that you read that's all written in the past tense, like it already happened, as opposed to something that is currently happening? It's a really interesting, weird way that this text works. The last thing I want to say in introduction to this piece is that I want you to think about how this uses especially imagery, metaphor, and simile. This text is rich with so many images and so much colorful description and so much just clear metaphorical comparisons that are really effective. And I want you to think about how you might use that in your own writing and how that affects you as a reader. So, again, this is Anthony Doerr's The Deep. It starts on page 433 on your textbook, and I have some assignments there that hopefully are pretty easy to follow, and I will be asking you to answer some just thinking along the way questions as you do that. I highly encourage you, read the chunk that you're supposed to read first, and then look back at the questions. It can be really choppy to try to read up to a point and then now answer the question and now read and answer the question. And so I really encourage you to read through the whole section and then look back again. Not only will this help it kind of flow a little bit more, it will also give the added benefit of, hey, now you've read something maybe 2 or 3 times instead of just once when you're trying to analyze it. Additionally, another change that I made is I know that a lot of people had trouble with the Google Forms about it cutting their answers out and something happened. Now all of you are going to be answering on Google Docs, which saves things along the way. And so hopefully if your internet cuts out, you won't lose everything that you answered and you won't have to deal with that. I know that's really frustrating. Okay, hopefully you enjoy the story and hopefully you're having a great week. See you guys soon.